Hello friends! Welcome back to our channel. This is your favorite cosplay tita, Yuta Chibana aka Harukasama. Hello, hello, hello! If you like cosplay stories, tips, how-tos, and everything in between, then subscribe to our channel. So, welcome to part 3 of my wig series. If you haven't seen part 1 and part 2, the links will be somewhere or in the description box down below. Part 1 is where I answer frequently asked questions about cosplay wigs, like how to tell a low quality wig versus a good quality wig, how to store your wigs, what is a wig cap, things like that. And part 2 is where I show you how I wash, detangle, and iron my wigs. Hi, I'm back. I took off my false lashes because they were distracting me. Ano ba yan? Parang rich locks. Just a quick disclaimer, I am not an expert, nor am I claiming to be. I am just a cosplayer with more than a decade worth of experience. So everything I know is from my own experience and based from stories and anecdotes of my friends who have also been in this community, in this hobby for a very long time. So I hope my tips can help you out. Try a lot of ways to keep my wigs in place because I used to have very long hair and I had to find a way to hide it all under my wig. Let's talk about the things or items that you will need to keep your wigs in place. The most basic item that you will need will be hairpins or hair clips or bobby pins as you call them in some places in the world. It doesn't really matter what hairpin you have or where it's from. If the hairpin tends to pop off your head, a technique that you can do is you can spray a little bit of hairspray on it and then put them on your head like normal. So when you put hairspray on it, it acts like glue or adhesive. So it gives it a little bit more of grip so that it sticks to your hair better. For me, I tend to use only 4 hairpins. I don't use a lot. I just put them one here, one here. Can you see? I have one here, and usually one here and one here to keep my wigs in place. You don't need a lot of hairpins. You just need to put them in strategic places so that they can hold your wig in place. Everybody knows about bobby pins or hairpins, but do you know about its cousin, the U-pin? So the U-pin looks like this. It comes in regular and extra long variants. I personally like to use the extra long ones more. And they are great for keeping buns in place. Wigs with twin tails or wigs characters with buns. ちょっと待って。Hey, Seiba-chan. Seiba-chan wants to join us. Wigs with buns and twin tails. They're usually very heavy and they tend to make the base wig slip off your head backwards. So I like to put them here, right near the twin tail so that they don't slip off. And then I usually put one here to keep it in place so that the bun doesn't pull everything back. Let's talk about wig caps a little more in depth compared to part 1 of my video. So, wig caps come in 2 types. Usually, they are the mesh or net type and the stocking or nylon type. Which one is better? What's the difference between them? Frankly, I prefer to use the net or mesh type because they're just a lot more comfortable for me and they're the most common. But I like to have both on hand because lately I've been using the double wig cap method, one on top of the other. So the mesh type or the net type is a much more comfortable and much more breathable compared to the stocking or nylon type. But the nylon type is good for really pushing down your hair and keeping everything in place. Wig caps usually come in black or beige. I am not sure how you can get colored wig caps from where you live, but in Japan, they come in every color on the rainbow. But if you put on your wig on properly, it doesn't really matter because they won't really be seen. But I would advise that you get both black and beige because black is better for dark-haired characters so that the wig cap doesn't peek through. Some wigs are thin kasi. A net the nylon or stocking type is a lifesaver because instead of the face tape sticking to your hair and going through the holes of the mesh or net type, it sticks to the stocking type wig instead. So it's not as painful to take off when you take off the face tape. So that's why I like having both around. Black for dark-haired characters, I recommend, and having beige for blondes or pinks and light-haired character is really nice. But any other color, if you have the money and you can splurge, go get them. Pero personally, me, I just have the black and beige because in Japan at least, the colored ones are like 600 to 700 yen and the black and beige are just like 200 yen. So that's a 400 yen difference and I'd rather spend it on food because I like food. Next up is a fairly new discovery. It is the silicone wig band. It has those little thingies on them so that the wig grips onto the band and doesn't slip off your head. I see a lot of my friends who have cosplayed Raiden Shogun use this because those wigs are heavy and the braid is very long and heavy. So you can also use toupee clips and sew them onto your wig so that it doesn't slip off. So some wigs already have them on when they know they are heavy and have buns on them, like this one. Oh, this is Your Forger wig that I washed and it has toupee clips to hopefully help keep it in place. If your wig is heavy and it doesn't have these, you can sew them on to. You can also use wig specific or adhesives to keep your wigs in place. Some people like to use glue-based hairspray or just hairspray because they're sticky and tacky to keep their wigs on. So you just put it mostly here so that it makes it sticky. Got to Be is a good glue-based wig that you can use to also keep your wigs in place. You can also use false eyelashes, glue for false eyelashes, or spirit gum to keep your wigs in place. In Japan, they have special items that you can use. One of them is this face cover glue from Assist Wigs. It's named very weird, but it's basically a roll-on type of glue. Mine is dirty because I use it a lot. So, and then you stick on your wig and you use it to frame your face properly. So, if your wig is stuck on your face like this, it's less likely to slip off your head, right? Tape variant. So, as you can see in the photo, it's like double-sided tape, especially made for holding your wigs in place. It's effective, but I like the glue, the roll-on glue type better because this one you can use makeup remover wipes easily and just take it off and there is no residue. You can use either one. If you want this, you can order through my craft shop or my Japan proxy buying shop, Seba Crafts. Shameless plug. And I can help you with getting your hands on these items. Another thing that you will need to keep the wig in place are rubber bands, elastics, or Rio. Bakit nga ba Rio ang tawag sa mga doon sa maliliit na goma pingi in the Philippines? I don't know where the name came from, but they're called Rio. Elastics and rubber bands, great for braiding your hair for when you put it under your wig cap. So you can tie your hair up into a braid like this side. Or if for some reason you can't do a braid, you can also tie your hair into sections like this. I actually prefer to do the bangs, my bangs, into little sections like this, and then I usually tie up the rest of my hair into a braid, and then I wear a wig cap. As you can see, there are some hairs sticking out here and here. Some people like to take a little bit of hairspray or gel and just smooth this up like that. They put hairspray and gel here and here to make sure all of their hairs are out of the way and it looks neat and clean. And then once you have your wig on, I like to use typically 4 hairpins. I use 2 here in front of the ears, and then 2 here to pull it back and keep it in place on the nape of my neck. Okay, I'll show you now. So you usually find the ear flaps and then align it to your ears and then just push the hairpin through. Okay. And then you do the same on the other side. You find the ear flaps, push it a bit forward, and then you just hairpin it. Usually for long wigs, where your natural hair isn't really visible, you don't even need to put an extra pair of hairpins at the nape because hindi naman siya kita. It's not really that visible. But if you want to keep it securely on your head, then these 4 will be enough. You see it like that? Kita ba? And then you just fix it so that it looks nice on your head. So ayan oh, it's not really that visible. And even if it's visible, you can just rearrange the position para hindi halata. Tanan! Ayan, hindi na yan matatanggal. So this is double the wig cap, 1 wig cap on top of the other. So the benefit of this method is, well, it keeps your hair firmly in place, and I find that this method is more beneficial for me, especially when I do face taping, because when you do face taping, you take the tape and stick it to your face and then extend it all the way around your head, and usually the tape sticks to your hair and it's a pain to take it off. So when you do the double wig cap method, instead of the tape sticking to your hair and it being a pain to take off, it instead sticks to your wig and makes it easier to take off later. So ayun. This really keeps your hair in place. So that's really nice. But to make sure that you don't get any extra headaches or hindi madali sumakit yung ulo nyo, make sure that you don't put the bands on top of each other. Make sure there's space between them, because if you put them on top of each other, it's gonna create pressure. So mas mabilis sasakit yung ulo nyo. So avoid that. In English, avoid stacking the bands on top of each other, because when you do, the pressure is gonna build up and you're gonna get a headache sooner rather than later. I'm an egg! For extra heavy wigs, I do the double wig cap method plus this one. This is a silicone wig band. If you look closely, there are these things on top of it. So this is where your wig will grip onto so that it doesn't slip off your head. So again, make sure to not put them on top of each other directly so that you don't create a lot of pressure in one area so you don't get a headache. I think that is it for today's video. To recap, you don't need a shit ton of hairpins to keep your wigs in place. You just need to put them in strategic places and explore, try out different techniques, and find out what works best for you. Thank you so much for watching. And if ever you do have any more questions, please don't let them be questions. I will be happy to help you. Please comment down below, or if you're too shy, you can reach out to me through my social media accounts listed in the description box below. I am Harukasama everywhere. Shoot me that question. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe so that you can be notified when my part 4 of this wig series does come out, which will be me showing you the basic tools that you will need to style your own wigs, as well as me giving you basic and simple tips so that you can do your own wig styling. Thank you so much for watching. See you in our next video, and goodbye!